It picked that up too.
There we go.
Hey guys, my name is Liriano. I'm here with Makayla. We're going to do an interview. She's going to ask me a couple questions, and I'm going to answer them to as honest as possible. So.
Hi, I'm Makayla. So I'm just going to be asking him basic questions about his album and stuff. So tell me about your upcoming album.
Okay, so this album is fully acoustic, and I wanted people to hear my acoustic sound and how much I love the acoustic guitar, and that's what I basically put into the album. All of the sound is acoustic. There's no hi-hats, there's no like programmed drums or anything. I want this album to be fully acoustic, full acoustic sound, and most of the songs are produced by myself, so I can give that personal feel to the audience.
Okay, awesome. I'm excited to listen to it. And when did you start getting into music?
Well, my love for music went back to 2006. But when I first started it, many people know, was December of 2019 when I released Intro. Obviously, that song wasn't good or mixed well because I made it on GarageBand.
It was very good.
It was, yeah, so that's like my first song that I ever made. I'm very proud of it because that's like my start off in music. So, I got to give props to that song. So, yeah.
In our culture now, there's a lot of people who give artists like yourself inspiration and motivation. So who influenced you to pursue this art?
Well, there's many people who influenced me. One of them bigly is Renaissance. If it wasn't for Renaissance, I wouldn't have been releasing any type of music. So shout out to Renaissance, first of all. Another person was Josh Scarta. He really inspired me to keep going, and the way he writes and everything just inspires me to keep writing and making music. Another person is my big brother, Greg. He definitely made a big impact in my music life because he pushed me to keep going, and no matter what, to keep pushing forward and never stop with music.
Who is Michael Liriano? What?
Yeah.
Like your style, just like the aura you give off. Like,
Man,
who are you?
I'm definitely an outcast. Michael Liriano is an outcast. Obviously, maybe my music can be comparable to some people, but I'm definitely an outcast. Being a 15-year-old and a musician is kind of hard because people don't take you seriously. Like when I tell people I make music, they're like, "Oh, it's probably bad since he's 15." But then I tell them I'm on Spotify and I got this many monthly listeners. They're like, "Oh, he could have potential." You know what I mean? Like, it's hard, but I am definitely an outcast. That's what Michael Liriano is. In terms of style, he just doesn't care. I sound dumb talking about myself in the third person, but he just doesn't care. That's all.
Yeah, that's the best way to go about it. How would you describe your music?
I don't really like putting labels on my music because it's all over the place. Like, you listen to the first song, you listen to my latest song, like, it's so different. I think mainly pop and alternative, though. Like, if I were to put a genre on it, mainly pop and alternative because those are my favorites. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like on Spotify when you're reading your little introduction to your music, it does say I'm all over the place and I want people to remember me, so I make very different music, and I think that's really awesome. When you released your first songs, Intro and Fallen, how did you want people to react to your music? How did you want them to view it?
Making Intro, I wanted people to react, to be surprised. And that's exactly what happened. When I showed people, they were like, "This is not you. This is some random white dude you put on the microphone." And, Intro is definitely like a surpriser. And that's definitely what I wanted people to hear for that song, is for people to be surprised. And then when Fallen came out, it was a whole different game after that because people were like, this is like, he has the possibility of blowing up and stuff like that. So I guess just surprising people at the different sounds, because obviously each song I want to sound different than the next one. Yeah.
Okay. Going off that, what do people usually say when you tell them you're only 15?
It's really funny because I don't want to sound cocky, but I act so mature. The amount of shit I've already been through and the amount of stuff I've already done at the age of 15, I'm so mature for my age. But people are super surprised. they're like, no way you're doing all this at 15, or like, dang, you young. I might catch a case or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. People are really surprised though, but I mean, it's normal for me.
Yeah.
Cause.
Yeah. So like, how do you handle all of that though? Like the pressure, the amount of work that goes into creating school and just adolescence.
It's all about scheduling. Like, putting time to different stuff like that. Obviously, it's hard. It's so hard, especially with school coming up and everything. It is so difficult. I feel like the way I handle it is just like I said before, scheduling and everything, making sure I put time off to specific things and everything. But it is really hard. It's not easy.
So, before we were talking about like your inspiration with your music, and tell me about the person who you think supports you the most and what they mean to you.
Definitely Greg. Greg is definitely, he supports me the most throughout everything. And I know he's not here right now at the moment. He's not dead, but I know he's not here at the moment, but he's one of my biggest supporters. And obviously there's other people like you or my boy Mason, right, who are really big supporters of me. But Greg is definitely one of them. My mom is another one, even though I don't really talk to her sometimes, but my mom is definitely a big supporter of mine. So appreciate that.
And how, like Greg, like you were saying, how has he influenced you in your music? Like, I don't know, like the spirit of your music and the meaning behind it and the truth you're trying to find in your lyrics.
Right. So I think Greg has helped me mentally, not like writing wise, because me and him have different music tastes.
Yeah.
Like, we have totally different music tastes. He's all R&B and like he's more spoken word than I am. Like, obviously my music is poetry, but like his music is poetry. You know what I mean? But I think he's just helped me mentally to stay calm and everything, and make sure that every song that I release, I have confidence in.
Right.
So he's helped me mentally.
And who do you direct your music to? Like your target audience, like who you're trying to get across your lyrics to, who like just your target audience.
I would say people who are sad most of the times, because I just want to make people feel happy. That's like my reason in this world. You know what I mean? But that's a hard one, because like anybody can listen to my music. Anybody can listen to DaBaby's music. Anybody can listen to Lil Uzi Vert's music. Anybody can listen to anybody's music. But there's just, like I said, every song is different of mine. So there's every target for every individual song. So there's not just like one audience. There's multiple of them for each song. And like maybe the audience might not like one song because they feel differently about that, or they put like their mentality is different with that song. Like one of my friends told me they bawled their eyes out during work listening to Why Am I Alive? I said, that's crazy, because like I would never make, I don't like, that thought is so cool. Like emotionally wise, people would feel some way like that. But I think just mostly people who are feeling emotional.
Yeah. So I know that your album is coming out, the Michael Liriano album is coming out September 14th. So once you get that released, and like what's next for you?
So my album is gonna be hectic. That's why I took this whole week off work. You know what I mean? I had to take a break off everything before school starts, before everything starts. But what's next is I have a single planned up called Worthwhile, and that's gonna release. It's with Khalil and Poet 22. So that song's gonna be really cool. After that, I'm working on a pop album that I'm not saying anything about. And I'm working on a second acoustic album that's gonna only drop on Spotify. On SoundCloud. So I'm working on 2 big albums right now, but otherwise, I guess just like featuring with people, like getting different people's sound into my sound. But I have a single lined up for October, late October or early November. But yeah, that's all I have planned after, not really doing anything. So.
Well, that is a lot of stuff.
I mean, that is, yeah.
That's a ton of stuff. All right, and finally, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, where do you want this to go? I know that's a really difficult question.
Man, 5 years.
You'll be graduated from high school.
I'm probably in college by this point.
Yeah.
Probably doing shows, focusing, not like getting into relationships or anything, because that's dumb. But just I guess just like doing shows and just keep doing what I keep doing. Obviously, like maybe I'll blow up in the next 5 years, maybe I won't. You know, like I'm confident as hell. I know I will someday. But I guess just doing my own thing, like keep doing what I'm doing now, because obviously it's going good. So I guess just yeah, that's a really hard question. So I can't really answer that definitively because I can't predict the future. So.
Is there anything you want to say to like end this video? You want to wrap up with?
Stream my music.
Right.
And by this time I'm already 16, so happy birthday to myself. And I love everybody. And thank you, Makayla, for doing this. You know, I'm a little sad you're leaving, but I know you're gonna visit, and I'm gonna visit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Deuces.